We love hip hop.
One of the wardens stepped down from the Kingston pen, or one of the Kingston prisons. It wasn't actually the KP or Kingston pen, because Kingston pen, I think, is closed down at this point. There's a whole complaint about the mental health issues that have been going on in prison and how they're not being addressed. And from the time that they're not being addressed over and over and over again, I think this warden was like, yo, I'm tired of getting the backlash for what the CSC is responsible for. And he decided to step down. So let me pull this up. It's not a video. Something that I found on Reddit on crime in the GTA. So it says clear violation of human rights. Kingston prison included in scathing reports in from the CSC watchdogs. Okay, and there's a picture over here. I think it is KP, Kingston pen. Look at the inside of that place. Nasty. So let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so I don't have to kill my eyes here. So a scathing report from the Office of Correction Investigators say that the country's correctional system regional treatment centers lack the ability to support inmates suffering from mental illness. The annual report is authorized by Dr. Ivan Zinger, the correctional investigator of Canada, and points to failure of care by the Correctional Services of Canada, CSC. It's abundantly clear that CSC is fundamentally ill-equipped to provide long-term mental health care to individuals with serious mental illness, those experiencing acute psychiatric distress, self-deletion, ideation, and chronic self-injury, Zinger wrote. His report comes after years of frustration trying to hold CSC accountable when it comes to the prison reform and human rights of those incarcerated. As a result, Zinger said that he has decided to leave his role 2 years ahead of his current 5-year term. So I guess they're supposed to be wardens for 5 years? Interesting. As a result, Zinger said that he has decided to leave his role. I read that already. It is a challenging yet deeply rewarding role. However, holding the CSC accountable for the mistreatment, unfair decisions, and human rights violation has not been without its toll, his opening message said. The 162-page report looked at the 5 regional treatment centers, RTCs, across Canada for offenders with serious mental health issues, facilities that house inmates who are unable to function in regular prisons. 2 are located in Kingston at Millhaven Institution and at Bath Institution. According to the reports, both are near capacity, with Bath Institution housing 36 beds and Millhaven housing 89, just short of its total limits. Listen, that was also an issue from back in 2010, before they double bunked all of these places. Okay, because now all of these places are double bunked and they still don't have enough room. Like, they're still full. That's crazy. Where are we here? Okay, in 2024, profiles provided the CSC to Zinger looked at the diagnosis of RTC's patients. Out of 498 individual patients in custody at the RTCs, 86% said at least one mental health had at least one mental health diagnosis, with the most common one being schizophrenia, 46%, followed by depression, 15%, anxiety disorder, and opioid use disorder, 12%, respectively. In the findings, which looked at the past and current reporting, Zinger wrote that the CSC should not be in business with delivering specialized long-term acute psychiatric care. In cases involving such serious mental health issues, transfer to external, secure, community-based psychiatric hospitals are necessary. So yeah, instead of keeping these guys behind bars, because they're more than criminals, I guess they're trying to say in this article over here, you might need to take some of these guys and transfer them to actual mental health facilities. Zinger noted that while CSC routinely transfers inmates recurring chemotherapy or heart surgery to external hospitals, he asked why CSC thinks they can handle someone with psychiatric issues. Individuals with acute and long-term psychiatric complex needs should be transferred under Section 29 of the Corrections and Conditional Release Act to specialized external facilities capable of delivering the appropriate level of quality of care. Continuing to house these individuals in CSC operated RTCs is not only ineffective and inappropriate, it is a clear violation of human rights, the report read. Zinger reports included 6 national investigations which examined issues such as the CSC's ability to treat inmates suffering from mental health issues, assisting those with cognitive deficit, treating women suffering from trauma, along with wellness services for indigenous people. In total, 425 interviews were conducted among federal sentenced individuals, both in custody and in community release. It also included the site visits and interviews with 150 current and former CSC staff, community-based stakeholders, and provincial correctional authorities. He said he found insufficient training staff, weak policies, along with outdated and inappropriate infrastructure, which all contributes to CSC's inability to take care of mentally ill inmates. Damn. These guys are down bad. He notes that that despite decades of investment, CSC remains unable to meet the complex mental health needs of this population. He calls an announcement for a 1.3 billion replacement facility for RTCs Atlantic Shepherdie a profound mislocation of resources. My bad. He wrote, rather than investing in another CSC in-house facility, the government of Canada should direct CSC to partner with provincial health systems to expand access and secure psychiatric beds in the community. That is a good idea. In one of his examinations, the report looked at the circumstances that led to the tragic death of Mr. Stéphane Bissonnette, a 39-year-old man who, in December of 2021, died in an observation cell while on a modified self-deletion watch at the Regional Treatment Center in Millhaven. The investigation into his death revealed that the significant degree of dysfunction at the RTC's Millhaven included structural, operational, and policy deficiencies. The offense identified a multitude of systemic issues related to the time of multiple RTCs, the events leading to the death, and the National Board of Investigation, which was subsequently convened, and the findings stemming from the NBOI itself, wrote Zinger. While the findings for all 6 investigations yielded subject-specific results, Zinger did discover similar findings across the RTCs, which included weak and vague and outdated policies regarding the mental health services, insufficient training to staff, a lack of efficient mental health screening for inmates, limited programs to help prepare inmates upon release, and prioritizing the use of force over therapeutic forms of interaction. Damn, this is a lot over here. So basically, yeah, this guy stepped down. Let me see if there's anything else of importance. Yeah, so this guy is stepping down because after all of this, and he's only been there for 2 years. So I don't know even what he expected on his way in for him to even be able to get to become a warden in the first place. You probably seen all of this shit for years and years and years as a guard. Okay. And maybe a sergeant guard, because you get the white shirt after a while, so he's probably stepped up in the ranks over the years. So this shouldn't be as a surprise to him that the system is very under equipped, and to be honest, probably not planning to equip themselves anytime soon to try to meet the needs of these inmates. And I know there's some people in the chat, or maybe not in the chat, but in the audience, who are looking and saying, well, they in jail. You know what I'm saying? What did they do wrong? There's a lot of people who are in jail not because only the criminal activity that they did, but their mental health issues led to the criminal activity that they did. Okay, so if the mental health issues are addressed, then you have a way bigger chance that that person is not going to recidivize. Okay, in layman's term, that person's not going to end up back in jail in the next 2 months because his mental health or his or her mental health issues weren't addressed. And let's just punish them rather than trying to get to the root of the problem. So I'm not really big on, bigging up the wardens or the guardies or anything like that, but I do commend him for, I guess, dodging the bullet. Okay, because in the end of the day, I feel like he still has some accountability. You're part of that system. Like I said, you're not going to be able to be a warden without going up in steps in the ranks in the system. So you've been maybe a part of it, seen it, maybe guilty to some of the same bullshit that some of the guards put people through. When they see somebody's definitely mentally ill and they still beat the shit out of them, hey, it could have been you. So maybe you're feeling a little bit of guilt at the same time. I don't know. I'm just speaking from what I'm reading from this post on Reddit, aka article. Okay, and I think it's a Toronto Star article that I'm reading over here. But yeah, no salutes for anybody. I got no salutes for anybody. I'm sorry. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.